Hey Villa fam, you're back with Two Village Girls for another episode of Honest Conversations. I'm Serena.
I'm Angie.
As we continue talking about growth and change from the lenses of childcare workers, this week we will be telling you about transgender, homosexuality, and gender neutrality.
Yeah, so first we're going to start with just like just the idea of like your child's identity and how important it is for you to build your child's identity, like making sure that like confidence wise that you build confidence in them,
Mm-hmm.
build the type of skills that they need to get through everyday life, even like self-esteem. Have them start saying like I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that, making sure that they know they believe in themselves, their parents believe in them and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah. Um, Oftentimes we see parents like trying to build children to be doctors or like high esteemed people in society and not spending as much time on themselves. So it's very important to embrace your child and let them explore different things that they're interested in, more than just in a career path. A great way to start doing that is something as simple as like letting them pick out what kind of clothes they want to wear, how their hair is, stuff like that, where they can just like trial with themselves and figure out what they like about themselves and what they want to do with themselves, as a person, letting them build their own physical identity.
I mean, this is very important too because with our topics that we're talking about today, it's important for the parents to know that the child has their own identity, and for the child know that to themselves that they have their own identity, and for y'all to work together and build that identity together. And like with the topics that we're talking about today, you're gonna need you're gonna need it.
Absolutely. Um, so, from a childcare perspective, a lot of what we hear is that there's brainwashing going on in like kids' TV shows, um, in meeting like staff members who might be gay or lesbian, or just day to day childcare activities such as like dress up and like what kind of toys the kids are allowed to play with. Um, and a big thing that we talk about is that children are there to learn, and being exposed to different things does not mean they are being like brainwashed or coerced into like the dark side or anything like negative. It just means that they've learned about different things.
Mm,
Children are
that's
very
true.
open minded.
That's very true. And yeah, like in childcare, well, like she was saying, like we see a lot of those things, and um, like as teachers, we look at it as different because when the children come in, I just feel like they're here to learn, they're here to play, they're
Mm-hmm.
here to just be themselves. And like a lot of times parents will get mad if they're like, if some of the boys are playing with girl toys or whatever the case may be. But um they're just playing, they're just learning, they're just doing what they see their peers doing in the classroom, they're doing what they see the teachers do, they're doing what they see you guys do at home. They're just copying you guys, they're mocking you, they're having fun, they're thinking, they're just doing anything they think that, like I say all the time, they watch us, they observe us. So if they see us doing, of course they're gonna do it. They're gonna try to do it themselves as well.
Of course. I mean, a big part of how they learn is from us. They look up to us, they want to be like us, and them mimicking like behaviors that we do, that's a part of their growth. In centers or schools where children are exposed to different things, this is their time to learn and ask questions. But it's important to realize the perspective of like positive relationships versus sexualized relationships. Um, often people think that, oh, if my people think that if their child is seeing um, gay relationships, lesbian relationships, or people that are transgender or transitioning, then that means we're teaching them about sex at a young age. When in reality, these are just children that are curious about what this, like, what they're doing. But if you've ever asked a child, what do you see? They usually say like two moms or two dads or like, they don't see it in a negative way. They don't see it in a sexual way. They just envision it as like, oh, these are people that are happy. These are people that are taking care of another kid. These are my friend's parents. Um, and looking at it from a child's perspective is how we should be looking at things that they're learning, instead of how we see
Mm-hmm.
them as an adult, because obviously we see them in a perspective that is more experienced, whereas the child is lacking in that experience to understand the full extent of these relationships. But on the same token, like the full extent of a gay or lesbian relationship or someone that's transgender is the same as someone that's in a heterosexual relationship, and we still don't talk to them about the nitty gritty details of that. So having that stigma that one is bad over the other is just not necessary.
That's true, and a lot of things are taught to children. Things that they don't like is taught to them. Like
Mm-hmm.
if they say they don't like a different race or something like that, they wasn't born. They didn't like was born like that. No, somebody taught them not to like that person. Like you don't supposed to teach kids that way. Like your opinions about things shouldn't be like taught to your kids. Like let them have their own opinions, their own thoughts, and let them learn. Like we say, let them learn and go through life, go through their experiences as they go.
Absolutely. I think that's so important because in the setting, like working with children, we teach them to embrace everything, embrace different people, embrace different animals. I feel like we talked about this in another episode where we try and like, we teach them to like bugs and to embrace bugs because bugs are an important part of our environment. Um, and they only learn to hate them if they see us like screaming and running from them.
Hmm.
We teach them the behaviors that we want them to experience, and that includes loving people for who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I was saying earlier about like kids playing with toys and how parents feel about that. Like, for example, if boys are in the kitchen playing with toys in the kitchen, and parents, might come and see, and see that they might say, oh no, we don't want them playing in the kitchen, or that's for girls, or whatever the case may be. Um, no, we don't teach that. We don't. It's not nothing like that, because cleaning and cooking could be for anybody. Everybody can learn the necessary things to do in a household: clean, cook. It's for
Mm-hmm.
everybody to learn. It's everybody needs to learn those necessary things, because if they get older and be by themselves, and all you taught was that, oh, the woman's supposed to clean and cook, and now he's sitting here old and don't know how to clean or cook for himself. Now what? Like, it's lacking. So no, we need to teach them that everybody can play in the kitchen area. Everybody can dress up and play mommy or daddy. Everybody can wear the purse, or everybody can wear the dress or the fairy tale princess, whatever, in the classroom, because it's there for play. It's there for exploration. They're there to explore it.
Absolutely. And on the flip side, like girls playing with like cars and buildings and all that kind of stuff, these are also tools that women need just as much as men, because we grow up and we
Hmm.
drive cars. We grow up and we need to put together a bookshelf or a bed or something in our house.
Yeah.
Maybe need to fix something, like any of these things that can come up in life, and setting that aside for only guys is also counterproductive because girls need to take care of themselves too,
Hmm.
and more than just cleaning and cooking. Like we need to provide for ourselves and be able to depend on ourselves to keep things afloat. It's important to cook and clean, but we won't always have our brothers, husbands, uncles, fathers, siblings, anyone at our disposal to come and fix these cars or parts of the house or anything else that might break down on a regular day.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really dealt with any parents with those issues, but I feel like it's a bigger issue if like boys are dressing up and planning purses and makeup and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
to parents than if girls was playing with cars or toys. I mean, cars or blocks or stuff like that. I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a deal in a different.
Yeah, absolutely. We also teach the kids at a young age that different centers and activities aren't girl specific or boy specific. They're very gender neutral. Um, Especially when we have girls come up and say, "Oh, this is for a boy." We encourage them and let them know that these are things that anyone can play with. We share them with everyone, and they're very quick to understand that and share and let each other know, like, this is for everyone. This is not just for girls, it's for boys, or this is not just for boys, it's for girls. They're very receptive to that until someone teaches them otherwise, which is why we keep reiterating that children learn to hate. Children learn only by being taught that these things are unacceptable. Otherwise, they're completely open minded. So, I wanted to bring up transgender in this topic because there's been a lot of talk recently about what is considered an appropriate age to transition. Being a teenager or younger and wanting to transition, there's a lot of controversy because people feel like they're too young and they don't really understand and they're not developmentally able to make decisions like that. Um, and I think this is an important topic to have because this has a lot to do with like family and child relationships as well as relationships with your child's doctor. I don't think many people know that in transitioning, there's a lot of therapy that goes into that. And there's a lot of like open mindedness and understanding that with that transition, the family changes. And it's important for your child to know that you're supportive and loving, and that they're in an environment that is safe for them to do so. How do you feel, Angie?
I really haven't heard much about this topic, but I mean, me, I feel like kids are kids. They should be kids and shouldn't be none of that for real, for real. But I don't know what else to say because I'm not really big
Well,
on
if you've ever,
transgenders, and I'm not big on that
let
and
me just
kids
take this part out.
because kids, I don't feel like they old enough to make that decision. It's not like that transitioning is an easy and cheap process. Like
Yeah.
that costs money.
Uh-huh.
But my opinion on this is that basically that um just because of how like expensive like surgeries can get with this like transition and stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not, to me it's not appropriate for children or appropriate for children to make those decisions. Now I would say like if they were to get older, like teenage age around 14, 15 or whatever, that we can sit down, we can discuss, we can do research, we can do we can talk about it, we can learn about it, we can do those things. But I feel like just going to do it just because
Mm-hmm.
it's like a I don't know, to me it's just like, say your child, I know a tattoo is smaller than changing your gender, but say like your child, you want to go get he 14, want to go get a tattoo. He turned like 20 or whatever, and he regret that tattoo. And he
Mm-hmm.
like, Mom, dang, why you let me go get this tattoo or whatever? I know it's small, but it's the same thing. It's just like, what if they really like don't really just went with it because of everything, society, somebody else's opinions.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
all.
don't know. I just feel like it should be research, background research, 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 research before. That would be me. If I was a parent, I would do just research, research. Now, I wouldn't shut them down. Like if you want to, that's like if you feel like you should be another gender,
Mm-hmm.
that's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to be mean or like just disrespectful to the child,
Yeah.
I would support them still. It's just hard to talk about something that's really so costly in a way. And
Yeah.
also, is a big, like, that's not something that changes a lot
Oh
in
yeah.
that family environment. So, I don't know. I'm not a big person on change either. So, it would just all be so hard for me. Like, that topic is just hard to really process.
Yeah. That's why I brought up the whole therapy thing. Like in that research, it's also takes like years of like therapy, a psychiatrist to approve you, and like time, like take the time to really get to know you and see
Yeah.
like, are you someone that's going to change your mind? And of course that comes with its own risk. Like you may not be someone that change your mind at 16, 17,
Yeah.
and down the road you might change your mind way later.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of precautions that they put in place to make sure that people aren't just waking up and saying, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to
Yeah.
be a girl,
That's
um,
true.
and change everything. There is like a bunch of therapy, and the therapy goes with like it's the child, the parents, and the doctor all come
Yeah.
together for like many sessions to understand the child and the risk factors and everything like that.
Mhm. But yeah, that's all costly though.
Oh
All
yeah.
those therapy sessions. I just feel like it's just so much finance that just goes in with that whole just process.
Hmm.
It's just I'm not against it. It's just that
It would take a lot of time,
it's just yeah.
a lot of time
And
and
that's
money.
something, yeah. And like I said, that's just something you like me. If I was in that situation, me and my child would really sit down
Hmm.
and talk about like, yeah, we would get in there.
Yeah, figure it out together. That's the important part, is doing it together. And
Yeah, and that really is the important part. Like having like I know that from when I was a child, I would like to have that safe parent to talk to, that safe parent that always like supporting me, whatever,
yeah.
and whatever I'm doing in life and stuff like that. So trust, I would definitely be that supportive parent. It's just that, ooh,
um, Last but certainly not least, love wins.
yeah, of course, love, love, love. I'm a big lover, so I know I'm gonna love my child regardless.
Hmm.
But I feel like I love children, like any children in my life right now, like in my daycare center, in my family, like I love them regardless if they are, well, oh my, they young. So it's not like they have like any sexual orientation or preferences or anything.
Hmm.
But like even if they did, it's just like love them, love on them, love on them, love on them, because we in a whole
Absolutely.
new like time, I guess you want to say, where it's just like, why do y'all care about who somebody love? Like, long as they happy, like that's all that should even matter at the end of the day. Long as they happy.
Exactly. I agree with you. It's important to embrace love, especially from children, and teach them that it's okay to like have those like platonic relationships with girls and boys and family, and just live their lives. Just remember to embrace your children regardless of their love, their orientation, or their preference. It's important for them to know how you feel about them, because it all starts at home. A lot of love that they learn starts at home, and it's important to teach them healthy love.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for the fam, just remember to like support your children and whatever they do, whatever they like, whatever they love, just support them in life. Like that's
Period.
the biggest thing. Like I feel like the child can ask for is support and love, but support and love. Like love your children, support your children, encourage your children, build your children. It all start like Sabrina said, it all start at home. But anyways, thanks for tuning in again to another episode with Two Village Girls. Please subscribe to our channel if you are new. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down below. Also, go ahead and hit that bell to get notified when new videos drop. Please check us out on our Facebook and Instagram at Two Village Girls for updates and weekly inspiration. As always, we want to send you out with some positive vibes to get you through the rest of your week. This week's inspirational quote is by Lay Ann Toy, who says, "Families don't have to match. You don't have to look like someone else to love them." Thanks, Villa Fam. Bye.
Bye.